The stars above Eryndor's ruins had not flickered for centuries. Humanity, scattered and exhausted, clawed for survival in rusted habitats and broken colonies. Among these fractured remnants lived Kael, a scavenger who believed the galaxy had forgotten his people. He searched not for glory, but for scrap, fuel, and food to keep his sister alive. One night, in the skeletal ribs of a derelict station, Kael uncovered something more dangerous than rusted metal. A crystal, pulsing with a heartbeat not his own. It was warm, alive, and ancient. As he held it, shadows stirred and whispers echoed. Whispers of a sentinel who once guarded humankind, betrayed and shackled in silence. The findings spread like wildfire. Raiders, mercenaries, and corporate hunters all saw profit, power, or doom in the shard Kael carried. Yet the crystal pulsed only for him, drawing him closer to something vast and bound beneath Eryndor's surface, something that remembered. Kael fled the ruins, carrying the shard across rust-stained corridors and hollow moons. With him was Aira, a scholar who had once been mocked for her belief in the Watcher of Chains. Now, seeing the shard glow in Kael's hand, her faith hardened into resolve. But they were not alone. Dark frigates descended, engines burning like hungry eyes, hunting them across debris fields. Through shattered orbits and dead colonies, Kael and Aira ran, the crystal guiding them, never dimming. Each escape tightened the net. Every silence broke with the thunder of pursuit. As they reached the storms of Eryndor's lower orbit, Kael began to hear voices within the shard, fragments of sorrow, memories of betrayal, the weight of centuries chained in silence. Aira listened too, and together they realized this was not only a relic, it was a key, and it was calling them home. Beneath the planet's surface lay cathedrals of stone and steel, carved to imprison rather than to worship. Here Kael and Aira found it, the silent guardian, a colossus of metal and light, bound in radiant chains that burned with humanity's fear. The shard leapt from Kael's hand, embedding itself into the Titan's chest. For the first time in 1,000 years, the Guardian's eye opened. The chamber trembled, chains cracked, memories poured into Kael's mind. Wars long past, promises broken, betrayal sealed with iron. Humanity had once feared their protector's power, binding it in silence. Now that silence was ending. Raiders stormed the chamber, firing into shadows. Yet their weapons faltered as the Guardian stirred, its gaze sweeping across them with both sorrow and judgment. Kael stood between the Titan and the intruders, realizing he was no longer a scavenger. He was a voice in a story far larger, and his choice would decide if the Guardian rose in vengeance or mercy. The final chains shattered. The Guardian rose, towering beyond the ruins, its body glowing like a star reawakened. Kael collapsed, but Aira held him, whispering that this moment would decide everything. The Titan's hand stretched out, not in anger, but in protection. Above, the raider fleet descended, weapons primed. Yet before their volleys could strike, The Guardian raised its arms. A radiant barrier spread, shielding the colonies in orbit. Where destruction should have fallen, light endured. The shard in Kael's chest dimmed, its purpose fulfilled. He realized the Guardian's memory was not only of betrayal, but of hope that humanity, though flawed, could be shielded once more. The Titan wept a single tear of light that fell across the planet, healing fractures both old and new. Humanity was remembered, not for its chains, but for the courage to break them. And Kael, once a forgotten scavenger, became the bridge between silence and salvation.